Hey everyone, welcome back to the second episode of Transforming My Island into Hyrule. Now today I want to try and transform my house area into the cabin area that you find in Hateno Fort. I'll show you exactly what I mean now. So as you can see, the fort is guarded by a number of barricades and basically wooden spikes to keep out the evil and the guardians, and so you can see them here. And we've got a small fireplace. And I also noticed that there's lots of beehives hovering around, so I draw some inspiration from that. And we've also got an apple tree. Now, I don't have apple trees on my island, but I do have peach trees, and I obviously have trees in general, so we're just going to work with what we've got. So the cleanup and the demolition of the area took a very long time because it is quite a large area, as you can see. So I decided that I would create a bonus video where I just basically show the full speed demolition. And you can go and watch that if you'd like, but just for the sake of this video, I'm just going to show clips and we can move straight onto the build. So now I've got a big area of land to work with, and I'm going to start by putting some trees down. Now normally in forest areas of my island I like to put cedar trees down, but in the clip I showed you there are just kind of trees like hardwood trees. There isn't much variation, so I'm just putting some hardwood trees down now. And as I said, I don't have any apple trees, but I do have peach trees and pear trees, but I am going to eventually replace the pear trees with normal hardwood trees. Now, I didn't notice many different kinds of flowers in the area, but I did see some blue flowers, and I do have a few blue flowers around my island. So I'm just picking some of them up now, and I'm going to place them around wherever looks right. And I'm also picking up some weeds to make it look a bit more naturalistic. And now you can catch a quick glimpse of my house. It's a bit kind of mishmash, like my whole island is really, but I've tried to stick to certain themes for different rooms, and this is just, a kind of living room area. I've put some of the Turkey Day stuff down. And so basically what I'm doing here is just picking up some items that I can use for crafting, and I saw a fireplace, which I can obviously make. And I also saw some honeybee hives, which of course is also a DIY, and I'm just going to make a few of those. And now I'm just going to plop them around different areas, trying not to stick to, patterns because, as I said in my previous video, I don't like when things look too neat. I don't think that looks very natural. So I'm just kind of placing them down in different areas, trying to see what works, trying to see what doesn't work, and eventually I will make up my mind and make something work. And yes, I did have to steal a beekeeper's hive from one of my residents, or really from myself, because I didn't have enough space in my storage to make one. So yeah, stealing from myself now. As you can see, I'm just popping a few flowers down here and there. Again, white flowers, because white flowers seem to be quite prominent in Hyrule, really. Okay, so now we start building the entrance. So as you saw in the video, the fort is surrounded by spikes and, a wall to keep everything out, as it would be. So I'm just kind of building some cliffs as a kind of barricade, I suppose, to keep people from coming into my house, really. So in order to be prepared for future videos, I've actually written a whole map. I've drawn a map and I've kind of planned out which sections I'll be transforming. So obviously now I'm working on the Hateno area and the area around this, so not only my house, but the area around, I'm going to be making into Hateno village and, putting some farming things down, maybe a few pumpkin patches because I do have a lot of them, a lot of pumpkins, so they might be making an appearance. And yeah, basically, I'm kind of trying to include everything, so all the different kinds of species that you find in Breath of the Wild, I'm putting them all in there somewhere. And I'm going to be relocating all of my residents into areas that suit them the best. So I'm thinking Lucky might fit into Hateno village because, he's very lazy. He can have a laid back time there, he can have some fun. Throughout this build I do change the shape of the cliffs quite a lot. I am quite picky and I don't like it when bits stick out or... No, I do like it when bits stick out actually. I don't like it when things don't stick out and it looks too smooth and too diagonal. And obviously that is a bit tricky when it comes to planting trees and things. So as I said, I do kind of change things around throughout the build and you might see that. So now that I've finished the background with the trees and the foreground with the cliffs, the basic elements of the build are done, really. So the next step is basically to add detail, like weeds, more flowers, and whatever I crafted previously. Now, I don't have the DIY recipe for the spiky fencing, which I think would be perfect for this. So instead I had to kind of improvise. I made some tiki torches because I thought that was kind of a bit menacing, I suppose, or as menacing as you can get in Animal Crossing. And I'm also going to make some log stakes eventually instead of the spiky fencing. So before I actually put the log stakes into the build, I decided to make a little pond area really, just to make it kind of look more cabiny, more foresty, and there is a little bit of a pond in that area. And now I'm just placing the tiki torch and the log stakes in the foreground area, just to kind of create that barricade. And I do skip through quite a bit of this just because I was very indecisive about where to put everything, and I did end up changing a bit of it anyway by the end of the build. And again, we have more path building, woohoo! And obviously, again, this is a very laborious process, so I'll just kind of speed through this a bit quicker, but I'm going to keep it all in just so you can see how I completed this path. And finally, we can add a few finishing touches, and basically we're nearly done. So what I'm doing here is I'm just making another beehive. Had to find a wasp's nest first, and just going to put that down, dig up a few flowers, put them down, decorate the cliffs a little more, and then basically we're done. And I'll just let you guys watch this, listen to some music, and I'll show you the final product at the end. And that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll be working on another part of my island very soon. I hope you enjoyed. See you soon.